Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. We are Group 1 and today we will be presenting on the Employees Provident Fund Act or EPF Act 1991. Before we begin, let me introduce our group members. Firstly, my name is Wan Noliana Afina binti Wan Muhammad Nasuha and followed by Nurin Alia binti Abdul Aziz, Awati binti Afifuddin, and lastly we have Nurul Azmin binti Osman. So, the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991 was introduced to establish and regulate the Employees Provident Fund, commonly known as EPF or KWSP in Malaysia. The main purpose of this act is to provide social security protection by ensuring that employees save money throughout their working life for their retirement. So today, I will be presenting the first part of our topic, which is the purpose of the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991 or EPF Act 1991. So, the first purpose of the act is to provide financial security after retirement. Under this act, employees and employers are required to contribute a portion of the employee's wages to the EPF every month. These contributions accumulate over time and become retirement savings that can support employees when they are no longer working. This helps retirees maintain their standard of living and reduce the risk of financial difficulties during their old age. Next, the second purpose is to establish a compulsory savings scheme. The Act makes it mandatory for both employers and employees to contribute to the EPF. By making contribution compulsory, employees are encouraged to save consistently even if they might not have done so voluntarily. This ensures that workers build sufficient savings for their future. The third purpose is to protect employees' welfare and social security. Besides retirement saving, EPF also allows members to make withdrawal for approved purposes such as purchasing a house, paying for education expenses, and covering certain healthcare costs. These facilities help improving the financial well-being of employees and their family throughout different stages of life. Lastly, the purpose of the Act is to define the legal responsibility of employers. Employers are legally required to register eligible employees, deduct employees' contribution, and make monthly EPF payment on time. This protects employees' rights and ensure that their retirement savings are properly maintained.
Question 2. We have analyzed the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991 Act 452. Our focus today is to identify the employees protected under this law and to critical evaluate the challenges we face in defining these boundaries within today's labor market. Before we deep dive into the scope, it is vital to understand the purpose behind this law. The primary objective of the EPF Act 1991 is to act as a social security safety net. It was designed to ensure that workers have a reliable financial foundation to maintain their dignity and quality of life after retirement. By making contribution mandatory, the law protects employees from the risk of poverty in old age, transforming individual savings into a collective tool for national economic stability. The legal definition. Legally, the termination of an employee is anchored in Section 2 of Act 452. The fundamental criterion for coverage is the existence of a contract of services. It is crucial to distinguish between a contract of service and contract for service. In a contract of service, there is an inherent subordination, a relationship where the employer exercise control over the employee's mode of work and working hours. This relationship triggered the mandatory obligation for EPF contributions. Conversely, a contract for service is commercial in nature, such as with independent contractors or consultants, and therefore does not fall under the mandatory EPF scope. Employee categorization. To provide clarity, we have categorized the workforce into three primary groups. First, we have mandatory coverage. This includes all Malaysian citizens employed in the private sector or in the public sector under non-pensionable terms. This is under the third schedule of Act 452. Compliance is excellent. It is a common misconception that part-time employees are exempt. However, the law mandates that contribution must be made from the very first ringgit earned, regardless of the number of hours worked. Second, we have voluntary coverage. This applies to non-Malaysian citizens. This is pursuant to Section 6A of Act 452. Contribution for foreign workers are not mandatory. However, they may choose to contribute voluntarily, provide there is a written agreement between the employer and the employee. The third one is exemption. Civil servants under the permanent pensionable scheme are exempted under the first schedule of Act 452 as they are already protected by the Pension Act 1980. However, our analysis revealed a significant grey area in the modern working ecosystem, specifically regarding the gig economy. Many e-hailing drivers and food riders are currently categorized as independent contractors. Consequently, they fall outside the mandatory EPF protection, leaving them vulnerable to lack of financial security in their later year. As a HR student, we observe that while initiatives like Aisaran are progressive step in closing this gap, the transition of the 1991 Act to accommodate contemporary labor models remains a significant challenge for policymakers. In shortly, this is identifying employees under the scope of this law is not merely an administrative procedures, but it is a critical instrument of human resources risk management. Failure to correctly identify employee status not only lead to legal non-compliance under Act 452, but also threaten the long-term social welfare of the workforce.
Now, I will explain the employer's legal obligation under the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991 as well as the EPF contribution rates. Under these acts, every employer has several important responsibilities. First, employers must register eligible employees with EPF. This ensures that employees are protected under the EPF scheme and can start building their retirement saving. Second, employers must deduct the employee's EPF contribution from their monthly salary. Besides that, employers are also required to make their own contribution for each employee. Another important responsibility is to submit both employees and employers' contribution to EPF before the due date. Employers must also keep accurate recording of their employees and contribution payment. If an employer fails to fulfill these responsibilities, they may face penalties such as fines or legal action. This shows that compliance with EPF requirement is a serious legal obligation and not just a company policy. Next, let's look at the EPF contribution rates. Currently, employees contribution 11% of their monthly wages to EPF. At the same time, employers contribute between 12 and 13% depending on the employee's salary. This contribution system shows that both employers and employees share responsibility in building retirement saving. For example, when an employee receives a monthly salary, part of the salary is contributed by the employee, while the employer adds an additional contribution into the employee's EPF account. As a result, employees can accumulate savings throughout their working years and have a better financial security after retirement. In conclusion, employers play an important role in ensuring EPF compliance, while the contribution system helps employees building long-term financial protection for their future.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurina Anda binti Abdul Aziz and I will be presenting on the type of benefits and savings scheme offered by the Employees Provident Funds or EPF. Before we look at the benefit and savings scheme offered by EPF, have you ever wondered where your monthly contribution actually go? Whenever
employees and employer-made contributions, EPF automatically divides them into 3 accounts. 75% goes into the retirement account for long-term savings, 50% goes into the statutory account for housing, education, healthcare, insurance and hedging purposes, while the remaining 10% goes into the flexible account for immediate financial needs. Now let's look at the types of benefits offered by EPF. Firstly, retirement benefits. This provides financial security after retirement by helping members cope with healthcare expenses, daily living costs, family responsibility, emergency and inflation. Secondly, the death benefits under EPF provide a lump sum payment of 2,500 to deceased members dependents during difficult times to provide financial security after the member's passing. Thirdly, IMINDO serve as a protection benefits by providing insurance and full coverage against illness, disability, and deaths using funds from the statutory account without affecting retirement savings. Lastly, withdrawal facilities are benefits provided by EPF that allow members to access part of their savings before retirement for specific purposes. For example, they can withdraw their EPF savings to buy house, pay for education, and healthcare expenses. Besides benefit, EPF also offers several savings schemes. Firstly, the mandatory contribution scheme. Every month, 11% of the employee's salary is deducted and contributed to EPF, while the employee contributes an additional 12% or 20% depending on the employee's salary. This contribution accumulates over times and earned annual dividends. Secondly, the voluntary contribution scheme allows members to make additional contribution based on their financial ability to increase their retirement fund and earn annual dividends. Thirdly, Aisyarahan is a voluntary scheme for self-employed individuals and those without fixed income, offering government incentive and annual dividends. Fourthly, Aisuli encourage housewives and women registered under e-Kasih to save for retirement while enjoying government incentive, annual dividends and social protection benefits. Finally, Simpanan Syariah allows members to accumulate retirement savings through Syariah plans investment while earning annual dividends, ensuring that their funds are managed according to Islamic principles.
And for question 5, I will analyze the extent to which the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991 achieved its purpose. Firstly, the Act has successfully promoted retirement saving throughout its compulsory contributing system. Both employees and employers are required to contribute to EPF, helping workers building a saving throughout their careers. In addition, EPF invests members' fund and provide annual dividend, allowing their saving to grow over time. According to the STAR, in 2026, around 39.5% of EPF contributors are expected to achieve the basic saving target of 319,000 ringgit measured by age 60. This allows that the compulsory saving system has helped many Malaysians prepare for retirement. Secondly, the Act enhances financial security during employment. EPF members are allowed to withdraw their savings for approval purposes such as housing, education, and healthcare. These facilities help members manage important financial needs while still maintaining retirement saving. Therefore, EPF support not only retirement planning but also financial well-being during a person's working life. However, the Act has not fully achieved its purpose because many Malaysians still have insufficient retirement saving. More than 90% of members under the age of 30 are not on track to reach the basic saving target. This suggests that compulsory contribution alone may not be enough to guarantee retirement security for everyone. According to the STAR, in 2024, only 33% of active EPF members had achieved the basic retirement saving level. Furthermore, economic challenges also reduce the effectiveness of the Act. Factors such as inflation, rising living costs, and low wage growth make it difficult for some workers to save enough for retirement. Many members also withdraw part of their EPF saving for housing, education, healthcare, or emergency needs, which may reduce the amount available when they are retired. According to expert quote in the STAR, rising living costs and previous withdrawal have contributed to lower retirement saving among many Malaysians. In conclusion, the Employees Provident Fund Act 1991 has achieved its purpose to a large extent by promoting retirement saving and improving financial security. However, challenges such as inadequate saving and rising living costs show that further efforts are needed to ensure all Malaysians can achieve a secure retirement.